Hello there. My name is Roy, my co-host Corey. We are The Real Guys, and this is The Real Show with 2 E's. Today, it's an episode I've been really looking forward to, so we're just going to jump right into it. I'm with my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
As always, you can watch our YouTube video version or listen to us on Amazon, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, The Real Show, Real Show FM, at The Real Show FM.
Correct.
We post our episodes and other fun stuff sometimes. When I can be bothered.
When we can, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, I didn't give that intro on our last episode, so sorry about that, people who listened to our Bad Batch Season 2 review. I didn't do the other plugging, but we're here to do the plugging because it's Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. We're in a Star Wars review mode, Corey.
Correct.
Because it's the month of Star Wars, it's May, and we always review Star Wars in the month of May. It's a little tradition we like.
We do.
May is Star Wars month, as I say.
It is.
And
obviously, last year,
Last year we did the Phantom Menace. Last May, we did the Phantom Menace. This year we're doing Attack of the Clones.
Exactly.
It'll take the next, 7 years, to do the rest of the Star Wars films.
You say
we do
that.
one every year.
If we do it every year, then yes.
Unless we manage to do Revenge of the Sith before this month is done.
When is the sequel film coming out? Has it got a release date yet? The one with Rey, where she reforms.
I'm not sure.
Because if that has a release date, we may end up watching all of them before then, and then covering.
Then we'll
that
be ready. Yeah, then we'll be all caught up. For Attack of the Clones, we both had. Corey's literally watched it very recently, last night, I believe.
I did. May the 4th.
As of recording this, yeah, May the 4th. I didn't do that. I watched it about a week ago because I knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
The crawl for this film. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
There is unrest.
We did this last time as well.
There is unrest in the Galactic Senate. That's the line that hooks you. There is unrest in that. There's not like discourse. There's not a hubbub. There's not a tragedy. There's not a heavy discussion. There's unrest in the Galactic Senate. Several thousand solar systems have declared their intentions to leave the Republic. The separatist movement, under the leader of the mysterious Count Dooku, has made it difficult for the limited number of Jedi Knights to maintain peace and order in the galaxy. Senator Amidala, the former Queen of Naboo, is returned to the Galactic Senate to vote on the critical issue of creating an army of the Republic, all caps, to assist the overwhelmed Jedi. Then we go to Coruscant Sky and we see the turning spaceship over the Naboo. Wow, there's people around who don't like Attack of the Clones, and I'm not one of those people. I'm going to say, I really like Attack of the Clones. The prequel Star Wars is my Star Wars, and we're going to get into it today.
Yeah, indeed. I kind of thought with you, I think, on that one. I could also do quite like Attack of the Clones. But I quite like the prequels, in all honesty.
We're met with all our favourite heroes are back. Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Correct. Hayden
Christensen as for the first time as Anakin Skywalker.
True.
We have Padme Amidala. Natalie Portman's back again. Sheev Chancellor, now Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, played by Ian McDiarmid. Yoda's back as Frank Oz. We've got Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa. We've got Pernilla August as Smee Skywalker. Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks. We've got Tamura Morrison, Jango Fett, and all the clone troopers. We've got Anthony Daniels, he's back as C-3PO. We've got Silas Carson as Ki-Adi-Mundi and Newt Gunray. We've got Kenny Baker back in the R2-D2 costume. And, of course, Christopher Lee as Count Dooku. And Samuel L. Jackson as Jedi Master Mace Windu.
Correct.
Full lineup of cast here, Corey.
Good old Mace Windu.
Good old Mace Windu. Mace Windu, big. We love a good bit of Mace Windu, don't we? Here
we do indeed.
Mace Windu, this party's over. And other great Mace Windu lines.
And other great
Mace Windu lines, yeah. Other great Mace Windu lines. So there's unrest in the Galactic Senate. There's a military creation act. The Republic needs an army to fight off this overwhelming force of the Separatists.
Yep.
There's a whispers of a Separatist movement being led by a former Jedi, Count Dooku. And to investigate this, they've tasked Obi-Wan and Anakin with protecting the senator from an assassination attempt, which happens. A ship blows up.
Yep.
Her decoy Corday is killed in the explosion, and she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Padme, I failed you." And Padme's reply should have been, "No, you did your job. Your job is to protect me from assassination attempts." Yeah. And that's what you did, so you didn't fail me at all. You did your job, Corday. Sorry, rest in peace.
Yep.
She goes back to her apartment, and there it's Jar Jar Binks and the rest of the Loyalist Committee, Bail Organa, arrive to meet Palpatine. Notice in that room, sometimes when I like to watch Star Wars, I think, can I name everyone in this room? And with that Jedi meeting, I could. We've got Yoda, Mace Windu, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Plo Koon, Kit Fisto is in that room. Kit Fisto is there.
He is.
Luminar Unduli, Barriss Offee, Mazameda, and Palpatine. We're all in that room. And I love doing that in Star Wars. Can I name everyone in that room? Sometimes it gets harder, but you know.
Can I also point out, in the very, very start of this film, where we see the ships blow up.
Is this about Kit Fisto?
No.
Okay.
No. This is right at the start,
No.
but the ships blow up.
Captain Typho is there as well.
Played
by Jay Lagana.
No, everyone is supposed to be like shocked. Oh, what's happening? What's that? Us is very sad because then the blue starfire just slowly falls off.
Yeah, you noticed that?
Yeah.
It's just like skids.
Yeah.
And kind of, drops
I'm like,
off.
that's a shame.
That's a shame. The N1's are great. You know, I love the design of the N1. It's amazing.
I believe we made up with our
The
top
N1's
5
it was
starfighters.
it was
my number
It
one.
was your number one.
Fun
yeah.
fact: 3 of my favourite starfighters are in this film.
Are they?
But well, the Naboo one is technically.
The Geonosian Starfighter's in it as well. Yeah.
And I believe Obi-Wan's with the ring
Oh yeah,
was on my
yeah.
list as well.
Obi-Wan's Jedi Starfighter. Yeah.
Because I had a toy of that
Yeah, great. Yeah.
with the ring. It was great. I can't remember what you picked. I know one of mine was the, not X-Wing, but kind of X-Wing one.
Mine's the V. I had the V-wing. No, mine are in episode 3. I had I had the V-wing. I had the Arc 170.
Yeah.
And I had the Jedi Interceptor. I think.
And I also had...
You like the Nantex class territorial defense starfighter,
Yeah.
also known as the Geonosian starfighter. You know they pilot it with pheromones,
Nice.
with like smells and.
I also had the, what are they called? The like ships when you merge them together, where you take one bit of starfighters and you put it with something else. I forgot the name of them.
Well, they're called Uglies.
Yeah.
The sort of kit bash starfighters. And the bit of also trivia for you: the Nantex class starfighter was developed by the Huppala Parsa Tisk Shipwrights Collective as the Nantex class territorial defense starfighter.
Great.
It's 10 meters long. It's got a width of 1 meter.
Yep.
It's 2 meters tall. It's equipped with a laser cannon and a tractor beam projector. And it's loyal to the Confederacy of Independent Systems. That's right.
Nice.
Also I like from the Geonosians. I like Count Dooku's Solar Sailor. That's a great ship as well. Also in this, we get the Republic, the first appearance of the Republic gunship.
Yeah.
Which is the LA-80 Low Altitude Assault Transport. And me and Corey debated this as well. The very name of this film, Attack of the Clones. We said it was like, there's the serial was like Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, very sort of serial titles. But it's not really an attack, in my thought. It's more of an assault of the clones, because attack implies sort of evil intent. Like you're attacking someone.
Yeah.
But an assault is you're making a military assault, so it should be assault of the clones. Just a personal thing.
Slow. Just put that in there.
Just put that in there. Who stood out to you today on this in this film? Who stood out to you?
Ooh.
Like with Obi-Wan?
I mean, Obi-Wan was good. Also, like you mentioned, this is the first time I get old Anakin.
Old Hayden
Which-
Christensen's old Anakin.
Whenever you look back at the prequels, it's normally the brunt of the jokes.
Yeah.
I don't like sand.
I
It's
don't like
coarse and
sand.
it gets everywhere.
I said George Lucas isn't great at writing. He's not. I always said that George Lucas is an ideas and a concept guy. He's not really a right dialogue kind of guy. And this is what we get in this film. A lot of this. A lot of like. I remember writing a note down where it said these characters aren't talking to each other. They're waiting to stop talking so the other one can start talking.
Yeah.
It's like when Anakin and Padme are in their apartment, right?
Yep.
And Padme's like, I don't want to leave the capital. I want to make sure I'm here when the Military Creation Act's decided. I'm the leader of the opposition in the Senate. I need to make sure. Also, they say leader of opposition, meaning there's either political parties, or I assumed it was opposition to the Military Creation Act.
Yeah.
Because she's the leader of the delegation of 2000, which is the Loyalist Committee, which is the committee of people who are opposing, war and whatever, pacifistic things like that.
Yeah.
But she said, I'm the leader of the opposition. I have to be here when the fate of the fate of the army of the Republic is decided. And Anakin suddenly decides to start whining about Obi-Wan. He goes, Obi-Wan's like my father, but he never listens. He's selfish. And then he goes, oh, but he's as wise as Master Yoda and as powerful as Master Windu. Like,
Yeah.
Do you hate him or not? What's wrong with you?
There's certain parts in this.
Obviously, he's this indoctrinated slave child who's been brought into this league of monks and can't control his emotions and that kind of thing.
There's certain parts to it, so where I'm like, the dialogue I quite like. Because there's certain parts I'm like, okay, it's quite nice.
Okay, what dialogue lines do you like, Corey?
There's a part where Obi-Wan goes to Anakin and says, why do I get a feeling you're going to be the death of me?
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Which he was.
Oh, wait, there's a bit before that, in fact, the very bit before that, where he shows him his lightsaber and he goes, he went in there to hide, not to run.
Yeah.
And Anakin goes, yes, master. And then he goes, here's your lightsaber. You lost this. And he goes, yes, master. And he goes, try not to lose it next time. And he goes, yes, master. And he goes, you have to use he says along the line, which I still quote to say, he goes, use the Force, think.
Yeah.
Well, which one is it, Obi-Wan? Am I using the Force or am I thinking? I don't know. Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Is it different?
And then
Is using the Force thinking? And Anakin's response to that is, yes, master. He says it 5 times.
And
I
then,
think I counted.
Immediately followed by him going, where are you going? And he goes, to get a drink.
To get a drink. And then he says, I feel like you're going to be the death of me.
Yes. Which is great, because
Yes, yeah, he is, of course.
The other one I like is when the Jibber chase, Anakin takes his shortcut, which doesn't work. And then Obi-Wan's like...
You lost him. He went completely the other way.
Well, no, Obi-Wan's trying to have a conversation, Anakin just goes, excuse me, and jumps
off, yeah.
To which Obi-Wan replies, I hate when he does this. And it's like, implies
imply
that he's done it before.
Jump off
multiple times.
Airspeed and fly completely down to the, Also, Obi-Wan, a redeemed Jedi Master, his first action upon seeing the Queen's been trying to be assassinated by these droids and these worms is to jump out the window.
Yeah, I know.
Did you realise that?
Anakin's like, okay, cool, I've got my little slug thing. Obi-Wan's like, oh, thing.
Whoosh. Completely through the blinds, just through the glass.
Weirdly, yeah, because I saw the guy cutting it. I was like, oh, that's a really small hole. You're not going to fit through that. And it went smash.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Nice long jump there to grab this droid, which is definitely out of reach, but fine.
Exactly.
And then he, at one point, goes, I don't hate flying. What is it? What you're doing is suicide.
Yeah.
And then,
he says...
And then later on, he goes, this is why I hate flying.
Yeah, it does. He says, I don't mind flying, but what you're doing is suicide. And then during the Jango Fett, he's like, this is why I hate flying.
Yeah. And also, again, implies that because he goes, I hate when you do this, again, when Anakin's going down. Again, to imply that every now and then Anakin just goes flying to the floor.
Oh, and those little poison worms, they're called Cohoons.
Oh.
If you're interested in what their name is.
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
But other than that, there's not much where I can think of where I'm like, the dialogue is exceptional.
And if you're wondering, the assassin droid sent to assassinate Padme, the little thing with the glidey wings on it, is called ASN-121.
Nice.
And is a modified ASN courier droid used by the Claudite assassin Zam Wessel, which you know is the female assassin in this film. Ordered by Jango Fett, as we know. Tamura Morrison plays Jango Fett. I pop for him showing up. I love a bit of Jango Fett. I love that conversation where him and Obi-Wan are in Camino, and they're both just lying to each other.
Yeah.
They're both telling half-truths and partial truths. They're not being honest. It's just, have you ever been to Coruscant? Might have. Have you ever been there recently? Maybe. Have you ever shot anyone with a Kamino and saber dart? Might have done. It's like it's completely like that. Yes.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like
they made your way into the interior as far as Coruscant recently, once or twice, possibly. Recently, possibly. Then you might know Cypher DS.
It's one of those things where it's like they both know.
They both know exactly what
but they can't do anything.
They can't say anything to each other about it. Yeah. They can't admit, That's why I like that. That's why he goes up into his face and goes, I think your clones are very impressive. You're very proud. He goes, they'll do their job well.
Now, I did want to bring up one thing. I like Jango Fett.
I love Camino.
As a character, I like Jango Fett.
Right.
However, in the big final fight scene, he's a bloody idiot.
He is a bloody idiot. We'll skip forward a bit. So Jango Fett's plan is to let's go right. The Petronaki Arena. There's loads of Jedi, loads of battle droids. There's monsters running around. Yep. Reek and Acklay and Nexu. I think Acklay and the Nexu are dead at this point.
Yeah.
The Reek's the only one surviving. The big Rhino thing. So Jango Fett decides to fly down from the safety of Count Dooku, wherever Count Dooku is, lands on the ground. Mace Windu is coming at him. I don't know what he. I think does he try to shoot him? No, he gets ran over by the Reek.
Mace Windu gets hit over, drops his lightsaber.
Yeah.
To which Jango Fett goes, "I'm gonna die for it."
Grab it instead of using his whipcord or using anything like that. Why does he go for the lightsaber? You've got guns on you, Jango Fett.
One, you've got guns.
You've got a flamethrower. You've got a rocket launcher.
Also, Mace Windu has a force.
He just grabs it from the force. Jango's ran over by the Reek after that.
Gets his jetpack crushed.
Jango stands up. He's only got one gun.
Yeah.
He goes to shoot. Mace Windu's coming at it. By the way, if you notice, Mace Windu people criticize him as Jedi or whatever,
Yeah.
but in combat, he can't be touched.
No, he can't.
Like, he had, rumor or not, whether Palpatine actually tried to lose the fight in Episode 3, but Mace Windu definitely had him on the ropes. Mace Windu, when he was blocking those shots, he was deflecting the shots into battle droids' heads.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? When he's running at Jango and Jango's shooting at him, Mace Windu blocks it so perfectly that the shot hits the battle droid through the head. He does it twice. I'm like, my goodness, Mace. Badass. Anyway, Mace Windu's running towards him, and Django's trying to shoot him. Mace Windu just cuts his gun off, or cuts his hand off, or whatever, just slices it off in one clean blow, like he was opening like a screen door to let the dog out, just whoosh like that.
This is also one of those things where I'm like, throughout the whole thing, okay, who is it? Who's assassinating? Who is it going to be? And it's Django Fett, and he's like, oh, okay, Obi-Wan's being chased. Obi-Wan survived, and it's just like, just in like 2 seconds, just like hand spin move, wonk.
Hand spin move gets him. And also, he tries to activate his jetpack, it doesn't work, and then it gets completely sliced up by Mace,
which obviously leads to here's Boba Fett just
watching it happen. Exactly.
I like how Dooku has a little slight look on his face.
Has a slight of concern. Oh no! Oh no! It's weird because if Jango had survived any longer, he would have to have fought his clones, his own clones, which is weird. But it's kind of poetic. He died then, and also no one in the Jedi questioned that the template of the clone army was fighting on the enemy's side.
Yeah.
But I guess it was just concerned, like, he's a bounty hunter. He probably added another job for Dooku.
Yeah.
That he wasn't actually, Dooku was the guy that hired him. Because says he's I was recruited by a man called Tyrannus, which is Dooku's Sith name, Darth Tyrannus. Which we learn at the end when he meets Palpatine in the Coruscant Works District. Another great character in that scene, by the way, Poggle the Lesser. I'm going to bring him up because I really like him.
Okay, I thought this is where Kit Fisto was going to enter the chat.
All right, no, Kit Fisto, we'll enter chat in a minute. Poggle the Lesser, I think is great. Look him up. I love him. Okay. He's the leader of the Archduke of the Geonosians. And he doesn't look like any other... The Geonosians have these kind of weird kind of snout bug faces. But Poggle has this big beard.
Yes.
It's kind of like a beard made out of, I don't know, fleshy bone thing. And I really love it. He talks in the weird language. There's like the memes of him going, like that.
Yeah.
And I really, he's like a big grasshopper man. How tall was Poggle the Lesser, if you're interested?
Oh.
Because I've got someone else to talk about after we talk about Kit Fisto.
Okay.
But I really like Poggle the Lesser. I think he's a great character. And it was lovely to see him in this film. It was like seeing an old friend. I was like,
he's 6 foot, I think.
Oh, Poggle's in this. Everything's right with the world. Now we can talk about Kit Fisto, because I know you're an avid Kit Fisto fan. You're a Kit Fisto enjoyer.
I am. I'm a.
You're a Fisto head.
Sure. I do like Kit Fisto, mainly from Clone Wars.
Yeah. He's got his smile. That was what we're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
C-3PO. Do you want to recount some events for us?
Yeah. So obviously, I'm fully aware of Kit Fisto in Episode 2 not looking so great. Not saying that he looks.
Episode 3 doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Episode 2
not
looks
saying
fine.
he looks better.
Yeah.
But he doesn't look great, and he has like 2 default faces, which is either weirdly like gritting his teeth, or it's smiling, which gives off the fact that he's like he defeats a droid and just smiles. It's like he's really happy he's done something.
He is happy he's done something.
It's like, I did it.
I feel like I feel like people have said that Kit Fisto knew that was C-3PO and did it anyway.
It's like he's really happy that he's done something, and it's like, it's Kit Fisto, man.
I pushed him over. Yay!
Yeah.
I've done something.
Also, another line of dialogue, which is somewhat funny, is when she's got C-3PO's head, and C-3PO goes, "I'm beside myself."
No, he goes. At first he goes, "This is such a drag."
Yeah.
When he's dragging it, he goes, "I'm quite beside myself."
Yes.
And then he was.
Yes.
Beside
And
himself.
that's quite good.
That is fun. Yeah, that was fun commentary as well. That and the bit where Obi-Wan's in the bar and he goes, "You don't want to sell me death sticks." He goes, "I don't understand. You want to go home and rethink your life." That's funny as well.
But no, hello Kit Fisto, your weird face.
Can I talk about someone else?
Thank you, Clone Wars, for making him better.
Can I talk about someone else?
Yes.
Can I talk about Wat Tambor for a minute?
Yeah, I
because we knew Wat Tambor was coming. Did you see him in the film? I
did.
Yeah. The Techno Union Army. Is that your disposal count? We love Wat Tambor here as well.
Do indeed.
He's voiced. You know who he's voiced by? I learned this recently.
No, I didn't.
In this film, he's voiced by Ben Burt, who's the sound director. So that sound, probably made by Ben Burtt, is voice coming from Ben Burtt, the guy that voiced Wat Tambor. And it's funny because in the Clone Wars, Matthew Wood voices Wat Tambor, and Matthew Wood is the supervising sound director on the Clone Wars. So it's kind of funny, a little tie in there. But yeah, we like Wat Tambor, foreman of the Techno Union, Wat Tambor, famous for the video, the Techno Union, where he's blasting bass. Also in that room is San Hill, who's the guy, the banking clan will sign your treaty. That's San Hill.
Yep.
He's the chairman of the banking clan. There we have, I think her name's Shumai. She's from the Commerce Guild. And we have Pascal Argente. I know all these guys. I'm not got this up. I know their names. Pascal Argente, who's from the Corporate Alliance, I believe. And then there's a couple of other aliens in there. I'm sure they also have names as well.
They will do.
That's always my Star Wars line. I'm sure they have names as well, because everything does.
Yes. Do indeed.
And what did you think of some of the action in this film? We've got the great Nick Gillard himself, and even the extras. If you look at the extras, I tried to, for once, look in the background of the Star Wars film, because Rick McCallum, the famous Rick McCallum quote, the producer of this film, is, it's so dense. Everything in there has something going on. Every shot has something going on. And I tried to look in the background to see what I can see. In the Petranaki Arena battle, there's so much. There's guys with 2 lightsabers spinning around. There's guys who are doing like kind of stabbing motions on droids. There's this one guy who does like a roundhouse kick on a droid and then like stabs it in the chest with his lightsaber. I love that kind of stuff. I love looking in the back and seeing what the extras are doing, which is great.
I did quite like. Now again, when you think Star Wars, right, and when you think prequels, and when you think action scenes, you're thinking either Phantom Menace and you're thinking Darth Maul, or you're thinking Episode 3 where you got Obi-Wan Kenobi and you got Anakin who were just going at it on the lava and whatever, and the rock and whatever. I've got a high ground thing. I didn't mind this. Obviously, the one that sticks to mind, other than the massive battle at the end with everyone in it, is Count Dooku versus Obi-Wan Kenobi / Anakin / Yoda.
You know what I like Django versus Obi-Wan on Kamino. That's the fight that I like.
Okay.
It's the Mandalorian armor versus the Jedi. It's the first time we ever see that. It's happened for millions of years in Star Wars, the Mandalorian Civil War, Jedi versus Mandalorians, we never see it, but now we're seeing it. Django's pulling out all this stuff. He's pulling out his blaster pistols. He's pulling out the jetpack. He used the jetpack rocket for the first time. Django does a vertical climb up that pole. He's like sideways on it to fire the rocket down. And he's using this kind of like jagged metal on his gauntlets and stuff. It's not often in Star Wars we get any QCQ, close quarters combat as they call it. We don't see any of that, but we do here. Obi-Wan does like a big kick off the ground. Django catches his kick and spins it around. I really like we don't get much hand to hand in Star Wars. No, because everyone's got a lightsaber, everyone's got a gun,
or electric force.
Or electric. Everyone's got lightning powers. Yeah, everyone's got a baton or a weapon. They don't get much hand to hand combat in Star Wars. Yeah, so this is what I really like. That's what I like to see as well. Also, I really like Kamino, as you know. I really like the Waterworld Topoka City. Your characters you'll recognise from the Bad Batch. Lama Su and Tong Wei are there as well. I really like Lama Su as a character. I don't know why, but I think he's cool. He's got a cool design with a head fin and stuff. 200,000 units are ready, with 1 million more well on the way. That was heavily debated of what number he actually meant there. Because the number of units means there's 200,000 clones. But 200,000 clones cannot hold down a galaxy with millions of planets. Yeah. So we're wondering whether units meant groups, quite a large group by the name unit. So I don't know, there was debated there. And also we mentioned Jedi Master Cypher Diaz. What do you know about Cypher Diaz?
Not much.
Other than the fact that originally in the script it was meant to be a Sidious anagram. That it was ordered by Sidious the clones. Yeah. The Palpatine ordered the clone army. But no, it was actually ordered by a guy called Cypher Diaz, who changed his... they changed that to be a different character. Because Obi-Wan says, he died 10 years ago. Even though in the Wikipedia article, it says that, open quotes, Obi-Wan was under the impression that Cypher Diaz was killed before that time. Yeah. So it was said that actually Cypher Diaz and Dooku conspired to create the clone army, and Cypher Diaz's fate is actually seen in the Clone Wars, that he was kidnapped by the Pikes and and that Dooku was actually the one that did it and whatever, and he led the Kaminoans to think that Cypher Diaz was the one that ordered the clone army and whatnot. Yeah. So Cypher Diaz was kind of used like a scapegoat by Dooku to say that the Jedi ordered the clone army, and really it was him who did it and erased Kamino, because we see that in Tales of the Jedi. Let's talk about Dooku. Big fan here of Christopher Lee. We both are.
You have to do it.
even though his name is mentioned in the crawl, do you know when Dooku actually appears in the film? Over an hour in.
Yeah.
This is a 2.5-hour film.
Yeah, it is.
And we don't get the main villain until an hour into the film.
Yeah. It's fine.
And he's not even doing anything. He's just walking around.
Yeah.
He's walking around talking to these weird aliens.
It's fine. You've got.
I wonder what Christopher Lee thought.
You've got Palpatine for the first hour.
Yeah, exactly.
You're all right.
You've got Palpatine, and you've got Django as well for the first act. So
you've got Palpatine just sat there being like, I
don't know how much longer I can hold off the vote, my friends.
Yeah.
More and more systems are joining the separatists.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but this is a great danger to me. It's a sat there. I know exactly who did this.
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
Yeah. He's just like, I heard about your attempted assassination. Did you, Palpatine?
Exactly. Oh, no, I love that. I goes, I heard about that. He says, what does he say? He says a line like, the thought of losing you is unbearable.
Yeah.
Like, you ordered the attack. You ordered the explosion.
He's like, Master Yoda.
Also, the Jedi are really, really crap, aren't they? Yeah. Mace Windu says, our intelligence points to disgruntled spice miners on the moons of Naboo. Now, I looked into this, and it turns out that the Naboo aren't actually great people. That not only did they subjugate the Gungans, but also they subjugated their own mining people on one of their moons. That they were actually the miners on that Naboo moon were trying to unionize, and the Naboo government weren't letting them.
Mm.
So it turns out that Naboo hates workers' rights. So Padme, I'm on to you. She says she's not a separatist. I think what she is maybe a dictator.
Yeah. But no, it's Palpatine. This is great. I love Palpatine.
I love Palpatine as well. Ian McDiarmid kills it. You can tell that when he's on screen, he's having the time of his life. You can tell that he's just killing it every single second on screen. Ian McDiarmid's an absolute go. I love Ian McDiarmid. I think he's fantastic. You know, I saw him once in real life. I was at a Comic-Con I went to. I didn't meet him, but I saw him from across the crowded room. And I was like, there he is, the Senate himself. Senator Palpatine. Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. Or Emperor Palpatine, as you know.
Yeah.
Anakin has to take Padme to Naboo.
Correct.
And there we see that to keep her safe. And there,
which is Palpatine's order.
Palpatine's order, yeah. There we see the famous dialogue rider like sand, da da da. Do you know deleted scene? That isn't actually Padme's house, it's her parents' house.
Oh.
And in deleted scenes, we actually do meet her parents and her younger sister.
Now, one thing I will say, and this is something I was going to bring up, which happens at this point, is one thing that I like about Anakin's character and the way that he's shown in this. Ignore it. This isn't dialogue based. This is him as being directed. Kind of. Because there's a whole point where Padme is in bed. She's asleep or whatever. And Anakin's like, I can feel... R2's on whatever, lookout. And I can sense everything in that room. And Obi-Wan's like, what is it like? Your Jedi senses aren't attuned to that yet. But then once something happens, Anakin's the first one to look.
Yeah, first one to notice.
Anakin's the first one. And Obi-Wan goes, I sense it too. It's like Anakin's first one.
Exactly.
I like that.
Because Hayden Christensen, the dialogue's a bit ropey.
Yeah.
But when Hayden Christensen has to act with his face, he is amazing.
Yeah.
When his mother dies in his arms, you see the torment, you see the agony, you see the rage in his eyes. And that is fantastic. When he has to act with his face, when he's not saying any of the dialogue, when he has to act with his face, he's completely flawless. I think he's absolutely amazing. When he's doing face acting, facial expression, he is great. The dialogue, not too much, but when he's acting with his face, he's absolutely great.
Yeah. But no, it's there's certain parts where it's like it's really good, but it's not quite got it throughout the whole film.
Yeah. And then we lead to the big battle on Geonosis, where they're captured. The droid factory sequence is just a crazy CGI hilarity of Padme going under these kind of big presses and whatever, and baking the droids on Geonosis in the big foundry, and C-3PO's into antics and R2-D2's into antics. But they're all captured and brought out to the execution arena. There we see all the different creatures design. And by the way, creature design, costumes, fighting stars for the Jedi. The designs are really awesome. The designs of those gunships and the Republic ships and the Acclamator class assault ships and even the droid designs.
Yeah.
Like the super battle droid, you can see where the B1 battle droid kind of turns into the super battle droid. Like the head's in there, the shoulders and stuff. And all of the droid armor, like those big spider, like the dwarf spider droids, the IG-9 spider droids, those do you know what the Hailfire droids are?
The ones on wheels. The wheels ones.
Yeah, I love them. I have a Lego set of them, and I love the design of the Hellfire droid. It's just amazing. This massive like tank on these rolling wheels. It's like 20 foot tall, running next to these battle droids, and they're firing these massive missile racks. I just love them. I love the design of the Hellfire droid.
Yeah.
And even the ATTE. I know you're a big fan of the walkers and stuff.
I do like the walkers.
And the ATT looks fantastic. It's like this big six-legged sort of beetle. It's got a big cannon on the back. It's all of the clone kind of and droid armor. People like the Rebels versus the Empire is very fun, whatever. The Rebels use hit and run tactics.
Yep.
The Empire are very brute force. But clones versus droids, I can see why people love it so much, because it's two quite equal armies, but with very different aesthetics.
Yeah.
The droids are mechanized, very grungy, very quite industrialized, whereas the clones are more sheen white armor and the big sort of not industrial vehicles, but kind of more militaristic vehicles, right?
Yeah.
We can see these big droids. They don't need pilot. The droids don't need pilots. They can do it. The vehicles are droids. The vehicles are massive droids, right? Whereas the clones are, there's like the clone walker crews and whatever, and you see all of that, and those big kind of, they've got a name, of course they have.
Yep.
I think it's like SPHAT or something like that. The big kind of 10-legged, massive, almost building on legs with that huge super turbo laser cannon on the top, which guns down those Lucra Hulk ships. I love all that kind of stuff. The warfare style of Attack of the Clones, like the attack portion.
Yes.
The warfare style, the ground warfare, is absolutely class. Like I was pausing it because you on Disney Plus you get it in 4K. Do you notice the quality is bang?
It was really good.
And I was trying to pause it on those sort of battle scenes where when the Lucra Hulk ship crashes into Geonosis and you get that big dust cloud, and all the clones and the droids are fighting in the dust. I got a great couple of screenshots of kind of the clone kind of the blue blaster fire lighting up the dust, and the amount of work that ILM put into it is absolutely insane. It's crafted beautifully, I've got to say. It looks... Star Wars will never let you down on visuals. No. It always looks incredible. Sorry, I'm talking too much. Say something.
It's one of those things where, and we mentioned it before I mentioned stuff, the look of the films are always going to be good. Always going to be good. Especially back then where it's a lot of like ILM making props, making practical things.
There is loads of practical stuff. That arena is a model. Most of the vehicles are models.
Yep.
And there is CGI, but it's on landscapes, it's on backgrounds, it's on, but there's like matte paintings were still used, things like that. All the costumes and everything like that, it's all practical. And Palpatine's office was all constructed and made. There is practical stuff in it. It's not like all CGI, because that's a big criticism of the prequels. Like, it's all CGI, I don't know. Yeah, but like that or not, George Lucas is an innovator. Yep. He's created this technology. Attack of the Clones was one of the first ones to be shot on digital. Yep. Shot on digital in 2002 to not use film reels, which is incredible in itself. Yeah. Even though most people, cinema... Even though great eminent directors think that George Lucas is the devil, because he effectively brought in the rise of digital filmmaking. But digital filmmaking is, I'd say, more than less an upgrade, more than less to push the technology to get it to that point is remarkable. But no, the look of his films is fantastic, and again, I can't speak highly enough of ILM and people who would ILM. Because it's fantastic. Obviously, people like Adam Savage and that kind of thing. Yeah. And his name escapes me. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to Google this. Grant Imahara. That's the one. He passed away recently last year. Was ILM for a bit. And also, again, people like Doug Chiang, who have done fantastic work for the look of Star Wars. Absolutely love it. Visually, it's great. And it does enough to where you look at the prequels, like Episode 1, Episode 2, Episode 3, and you can see visually the style of the difference film, before it gets to the originals and how it kind of gets to where it's going to get, but it's not quite there yet. Because people are like, why is the original trilogy, all down and kind of very sort of... there's a style of Star Wars kind of like, sort of alien-type kit bash Star Wars, that's in the trilogy. Whereas why are the prequels so clean and pristine and whatever? Yeah. It's not because of the art direction change, but it's an arms race. That's what it is. It's an arms race. That's why the technology is so advanced, but it goes down to where the Empire takes control and just completely flatlines everything. Yeah. That was my understanding. But there's a few kind of people in this that you wouldn't really expect. Like, famous actor Rose Byrne, she's in this as Dorme, the assistant to Padme's handmaidens. Of course, Jimmy Smits, as I mentioned, as Bail Organa. We see Oliver Ford Davis as C.O. Bibble. In my notes, I've just got here. I've got the word C.O. Bibble in all caps, just to make sure that he's here.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. C.O. Bibble. Daniel Logan as young Boba Fett. Never seen a Star Wars film before when he did this.
Nice.
He didn't even know who Boba Fett was. He'd never seen a single Star Wars film. He was grown up in by his mother, by a single mum who had quite a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And Daniel Logan never knew his father. So when he was with Tamura Morrison, it was kind of like he'd found his dad, which I think is amazingly cute. And even on set, Tem has talked about, takes him under his arm and says, call me dad now, while we're here.
Yeah.
And I'll call you son, just to get a bit of bonding going between us. And I recently watched I don't want to spoil my rec, so I won't mention it, but I've seen something recently which does kind of help you see that bond between Daniel Logan and Tamura Morrison, which I think is absolutely amazing.
Okay.
And Tamura Morrison's made a complete killing out of this,
Yes.
Not only playing the clones in this and Episode 3, but in being Boba Fett in Book of Boba Fett and The Mandalorian, voicing Boba Fett in Battlefront, that kind of thing, and Django, obviously. But Tem has done a really good job of making kind of Star Wars his thing, which is great. And I love Tamura Morrison anyway, so it was very happy to see him here. Again, we have such great characters as Watto is back in this.
He is. Old, dishevelled.
Watto. Dexter Jetster. Can we stop a minute? Can we stop the review for a second to talk about Dexter Jetster? Did you see the scene in the bar? Obi-Wan goes in, he's there. He goes, Obi-Wan! And that's everyone's gift reaction now to when Ewan McGregor's in something. It's Dexter Jetster saying, Obi-Wan! Hey, what do you know? I've got that in my notes as well. I've got that in full caps. Hey, what do you know?
You see, this is one of the things where I was watching this film.
What do you know?
I had completely not seen this film in ages.
You don't remember Dexter Jetster?
I don't remember the whole American Diner thing.
Dexter Jetster!
And I was like, why is there an American Diner? Why is Obi-Wan just like getting a pit stop having a coffee somewhere?
Yeah. He's having a Jawa juice. Do you know what Jawa juice is?
I'm assuming it's something to do with Jawas.
Yeah, it's an alcohol. It's not actually Jawa blood. It's not like I used to think it was. It doesn't actually juice from a Jawa. It's kind of like Jawa beer almost.
Nice.
It's like made with fermented grain and bantha hide.
That is awful.
What?
Have you seen what Dex looks like in the Skywalker saga?
Dexter Jetster, his minifigure. Yeah. I have seen it, in fact. Yeah.
Awful.
No, it's not that bad. He's got 4 arms. He's got the mustache. He's got
a gut, and I know
he has got a gut. He's got a gut, and he's got a gullet. What's wrong with that? He's Dexter Jetster.
Because he's thin. It's a minifigure.
What's wrong with Dexter Jetster? I can't believe there's an issue with Dexter Jetster here.
That can't be a real Funko. No,
you know Dexter Jetster knows Maz Kanata from episode 7. Do you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
Surprisingly, I'm not caught up on my Dex lore.
Dexter. You know what Dexter Jetster's nickname is? Dexy Jet.
Great.
Dexy Jet.
That's creative, that is.
Dexter Jetster.
Who come up with that?
A Jawa juice is also called Ardies. If
Okay.
you didn't know that, that's its kind of a technical term.
Yeah.
And it's a beverage that originated on Tatooine and was made of bantha hide mashed with fermented grains. So it's kind of like beer. It's kind of like beer, I guess. It's kind of like having a pint, going down to the diner and having a pint.
Yeah.
Love Dexter Jetster. Love, I said the Kaminoans that I mentioned. Love all the Jedi in the background who don't say a word. Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, even. Oppo Rancisis. Do you know Oppo Rancisis?
I don't. So
he's the guy with the weird tail and the big beard of the Jedi Council.
I'm currently reading a Reddit thing about how Dexter Jetster and Maz Kanata have apparently canonically dated.
Yeah, they have.
Great.
Oppo Rancisis, Barriss Offee, Luminara Unduli, all these characters that don't say anything, but just stand in the background. Like, there's a character here called Tumbuktura. Oh my goodness. It's kind of like a dinosaur man, this guy. Because there's on Wikipedia, there's a cast section, and then under that, there's an extra section of people that have names and characters, but don't say a word. Uncredited cast, here we go. Rune Harko, Aegon Kolar, Ayla Sakura,
yep.
the Twi'lek Jedi, Poggle the Lesser's here.
Nice.
Butler Swan, Lexi Dio, Sly Moore, Sly Moore, Palpatine's assistant, the sort of Umbaran woman.
Yep.
Tumbuktura, there is Barriss Offee, there you go. Tekla Minow's in this. Oh, I guess she is. Oh, I didn't even realize she was in Tekla Clone. She's a Clone Wars character. Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Know something new every day. Zet Jukasa. Oh, yeah. Look, right. The Jedi Librarian, this is going to be a slight iffy thing. Okay. Do you remember the Jedi Librarian, Jocasta Nu? Mm-hmm. I think she's evil.
Great.
Because Obi-Wan's looking for this planet Kamino. He's saying it's not on the archives. And Jocasta Nu's response is, oh, I'm sorry about that, Obi-Wan. We'll look right into it. Oh, that's weird. There's a gap. Oh, we'll try and find out. No, she completely ignorances him and says, if an item does not exist in our records, it does not exist. What's that helpful? That's not helpful, Jocasta Nu, is it? At all. No.
So I'm going to go to Yoda instead.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Yoda and his younglings. And they tell him the answer.
Pretty much, yeah.
They say it's been erased from the archive memory. You need to go to the centre of gravity to find the planet.
And Yoda's like, yeah, that makes sense.
And Yoda's like, yeah, it makes sense. Thanks for the help, Jocasta Nu. No help at all. Another item of trivia is that Zet Jukasa is played by Jet Lucas, which is George Lucas' son.
Nice.
Yeah, Luminara Unduli is there. Shakti, you know Shakti. Wat Tambor as well. Sun Fac. Oh yeah, Sun Fac. That is.
That's his name, Ofcom.
Yeah, that is Sun Fac. Sunfac.
Yep.
Sun Fac. And he's the assistant.
Keep saying it. It's fine.
He's the assistant to Poggle the Lesser. He's Poggle the Lesser's. He's a Geonosian.
Yeah.
Shumai and San Hill are named as well. Magaluf.
That's a place.
No, it's an alien.
Okay.
Look, Magaluf.
Great. It's also a place.
And yeah, he's voiced by Matt Wood.
Nice, of course he is.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Wood also voiced the B-1 battle droids.
Nice.
And Seboka, which I think is Sebulba's brother.
Yeah.
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 He's a dog. Yeah, I think so. Unless they're not related and they have really similar names. Like we've found out recently with Newt Gunray and Root Gunay.
Yeah.
Who are two completely different characters,
Definitely.
but have very, very similar names.
What a weird film Attack of the Clones is.
It's really strange.
It's really strange.
Shall we see if we can rate it?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it an 8.
I'll
give it an 8.5 just to really bump it up.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I'll give it an 8. Can't remember what I gave Phantom Menace.
Right, let me ask you this question now, and you're going to have to defend yourself here. Why don't you like Attack of the Clones?
I don't dislike it.
Why? Yeah, but give me why do you like it, or why don't you not like it?
I would say in terms of films, I would say I like this film rather than dislike it.
Okay.
The dialogue's bad, but I don't hate it. Mm-hmm. It's passable. It's not like.
I think I can see the work in it. I can see some films.
I will also say, from what I can recall from Phantom Menace, Jar Jar is more annoying in this than he is in the first film.
Well, he's less annoying, I think. There's not much of him. They reduce his role greatly.
The time he appears, for some reason, I just found him more annoying. I don't know what it is.
Mr. So happy to be seeing you, sir.
Maybe it's because in Phantom Menace you get numb to him and it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is in Phantom Menace.
Because he's here.
You see so much of Jar Jar, you're kind of numb to Jar Jar.
But now,
whereas when he's in small bits, you realise how much of an annoyance he is.
Yeah.
Like, you realise that he is the one that allowed the Empire to completely seize control of the galaxy by giving Palpatine emergency powers to make the Army of the Republic to enforce the...
But it's fine, because we all know Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord, definitely.
Exactly, he is the Sith Master, controlling everything. Look at his eyes! When he gives that order and he's looking up like, yes, everything is going to Master Plan!
Yeah, definitely.
I am the greatest Sith Lord of Darth Jar Jar!
I would love the fact that...
I don't know why Jar Jar sounds like Mickey Mouse, but...
And ha-ha!
Ha-ha, Misa! Ha-ha, Obi!
I'd love it in Episode 9.
Obi!
If when Rey sees, it just opens up and says Jar Jar Binks.
It's Jar Jar Binks. I'm the greatest Sith Lord, Misa.
You are just doing Mickey Mouse.
I am just doing Misa now.
Anyway,
my weekly rec.
Yes,
this
it's your
week.
turn.
We'll talk a bit about Attack of the Clones after, but with my weekly rec, it's from 11 months ago. It's straight up. It's the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary celebration panel.
Okay.
From Star Wars Celebration 2022.
Nice.
On the panel, we've got Tamora Morrison.
Obviously.
Daniel Logan.
Yep.
Concept artist Doug Chang is there as well.
Correct.
Matthew Wood from the sound team. Supervising sound director. And Anthony Daniels, C-3PO himself, is there. Hosted by Ashley Eckstein, who you will recognise. Do you know who Ashley Eckstein is? You should know.
The name sounds familiar.
Don't look it up.
I'm not looking it up.
Okay. Who does she play? She plays someone in the Clone Wars. The most famous Clone Wars character, probably, who isn't Obi-Wan, Anakin, or Yoda.
Padme Amidala.
No, who isn't Padme? That's Catherine Tabor, who voices Padme in Clone Wars.
Ahsoka Tano.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
And also, I'd like to mention that during this panel, Ashley Eckstein is wearing an orange blazer
Nice.
that has Ahsoka's white and blue on the lapel, which looks very fashionable as well. And also, the first article that Tamora Morrison addresses is the Like a Bantha meme, where shouts come up from the crowd of Like a Bantha, and then he has to do the Like a Bantha.
We've discussed this plenty of times about how, again, this is about the fourth time we've said this story on this show about at this point, but the same Star Wars Celebration as the whole Ian McDiarmid thing, where he's like,
do it,
George Lucas told him to say, do it, and he goes, do it.
Do it.
Because you just...
Exactly.
The thing I hate now...
He does the memes himself. You don't hate the memes?
No. Let me finish. The thing I hate, and I don't hate it, but I hate it, is the fact that there's a part in this where I was watching Attack of the Clones, and I can't remember why. Because I don't think Palpatine says do it.
No, he doesn't say do it.
But there's a certain point where every time I heard it would do it, I just immediately say it in Palpatine's voice without thinking about it. Like I was just sat there watching it, rounding out loud, I was like, do it. And I'm like, and then my brain vein goes a second later. Oh, it's people running there. Just like randomly just going, do it.
John Knoll is also on the panel, who is got a big guy at ILM.
Yeah,
might know from the creation of he worked on episode 1 in ILM. It's big influence on the creation of Star Wars, especially the prequels. So I like John Knoll, and then later on in the panel, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen join as well.
Yep.
Anakin and Obi-Wan themselves. So, and it's also great to see Captain Rex, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, C-3PO, and the battle droid General Grievous all on the stage together.
Yeah.
So it's about an hour long. It's a really great watch, though. Goodness me, it really tells you so much about the film and its 20th anniversary from the Disneyland Experience YouTube channel.
Nice.
It is the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary celebration panel, and I'll give it another 8.5.
Nice, solid.
So we hope you enjoyed our review of Attack of the Clones. This has been a bunch of fun. It's been great, really. So thank you very much. May the Force be with you. It's goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye.